The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria on Sunday announced that pilgrims who registered for the 2024 Hajj before the previous deadline of February 12th will now have to pay a balance of 1.9 million naira in accordance with the current exchange rate. The commission enjoined pilgrims to pay up the balance before March 29, 2024, when the commission will shut down its systems and cease to accommodate payments. The commission had in February reviewed the Hajj fare prices to about 4,699,000 for Northern Pilgrims, 4,899,000 for Southern Pilgrims, and 4,679,000 for pilgrims from Adamawa State, after earlier fixing the minimum fare prices at 4.5 million naira in October 2023. And to this discussion, of course, we are going to talk about all of this, because this year, on this year's Hajj Preparedness, we have in the studio to dissect all of this, the Assistant Director of Public Affairs, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Hajiya Fatima Usara. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about all of this happening, Hajiya. I mean, 6.8 million naira is now the price from about 4 points, just close to 5 million naira. And right now, people are in uproar. Intended pilgrims, some of them are demanding even refunds, saying we cannot be able to add up to this, while others are skeptical to all of this. So can you explain to us extensively why this increase had to be made?
Of course, good morning once again. We are all Nigerians, and we have been following the development of the exchange rate since around early this year. Well, initially when that 4.7, 4.8 was announced, as you just said, the dollar rate around that December 31st, that was our first deadline. It was 890 something thereabout, and based on that we came up with that first initial Hajj fare of 4.7. Later, you also know, the dollar rate now increased, naira depreciated, and we had to now deal with the new situation after the floating of the naira. Presently, the naira is around 1,400 and something. So this is even the good news, because before now it was more than that. Pilgrims would have been asked to pay more. But with the new situation, alhamdulillah, it now came down to like 6 million after all the interventions that the government did. And NACON also did its best. It now had 6 million, 6-point-something million in total, requiring all registered pilgrims to balance up 1.9. While those that will pay afresh will have to pay around 8 million.
All right, I mean, let's take a pause on that one, because we'll definitely need to get details on it. But we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, of course, the show continues. Just stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Yes, we are talking with Hajiya Fatima Usara, the Assistant Director of Public Affairs, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, on the Hajj fare increment of about 1 point something million naira, which made it to 6.8 million naira Hajj pilgrims. Thank you for staying with us, Hajiya. So you were talking earlier about, you know, the details of it, even though we don't know the exact details so far of how all of this comes and about. But then walk us through the expectations of an average Nigerian, you know, when approaching the Hajj Commission, if they have the money, you know, to add to all of this.
Those that have the money to add have been given up to Thursday, 28th of March.
Is it not so short, though, the period?
Yeah, you may say so, but we are already running out of time. This whole arrangement is supposed to end by 25th of February, and already we are approaching end of March. Now, even this is by the grace of Allah and with the understanding of Ministry of Hajj and Umrah that graciously extended the time for Nigeria. If not, it would I don't know. We are already behind schedule. Now to extend the deadline further will complicate matters further.
So in the front of Daily Trust, now the ex-NACON commissioner saying don't take loan to top up. He's giving advice to the intended pilgrims. What is your take on that?
Yes, Hajj is an obligation on Muslims that are capable financially, health-wise, and other indices that our ulama would say. So Hajj is not compulsory on somebody that doesn't have the money, and it's not even compulsory such that one will go and get a loan to go for Hajj. You go for Hajj only when you are able, when Allah has provided you with the means. Not just the means to go for Hajj, you also have something to leave behind for your family. You don't just take all your wealth, go to Hajj, and leave your family in want. So, for you to go and get loan, it means you are not even capable of going for Hajj.
So right. What is the NACON doing, to create any misconception, apart from you being here, of course, to these intending pilgrims who are really confused and they approach, the commission to say, what is happening there? What measures do you people put in place in order to make people easily understand exactly what's going on?
Yes, like this interaction, as you just said, is one of it. And there'll be other interactions with our bosses, rights up, jungles will be coming up to explain everything, why this step had to be taken. Because actually, NACON before now tried all other avenues to see that the Hajj fare remains at 4.7, or even if it will increase, not astronomically as the case is. Yeah. So we tried all our best. In fact, our chairman really had sleepless nights over this. Beyond Nigeria, he did all he could to get it done. So, of course, we'll educate our stakeholders, primary constituents, the pilgrims, to understand the situation we find ourselves in. We all need together.
You actually addressed the question I wanted to ask, which is if NACON has tried everything possible, based on the bilateral agreement between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia to at least, find a way to just cushion it and make it easier for Nigerians. But then stakeholders are pushing on this and saying that they want the government to intervene in all of this. Is there a way that, Nigeria could be hopeful that something could come out of if government should intervene in some kind of way?
Yeah, it will be good if government will intervene. Well, that it will be good on our part, but government has to weigh the situation, the consequences,
the pros
of course.
And cons.
But the dollar situation just came up in the middle of the process of Hajj preparation. It was something that wasn't envisaged initially. So that's why it became a real dilemma for the commission and even for the pilgrims as well. Because we had a mindset already. Services, our chairman really tried to negotiate services. And as I would always say, the dollar equivalent of what is being charged this year is actually lower than what was charged last year. But this cannot be felt because of the increase in the exchange rate. So had it remained the same, actually Hajj fare would have been lower this year than last year's amount.
Interesting. All right, so how do you anticipate, the free adjustment, or fair adjustment rather, would affect the number of Nigerian pilgrims? Because even at the 4.5, 4.9, 4.8, there were a lot of people that had to, put that plan on hold. And then right now there is this increase. How do you anticipate the numbers? So far, has there been a lot of people, dropping of saying we cannot go ahead with this?
As at this moment, no. We've not had that information yet. Because, the state pilgrims welfare boards are the ones dealing directly with the pilgrims. After hearing from them, they now inform us what the situation is. But so far, actually those that have been calling me even asking how to go about it, that is there certainty that if they top up, they will not be left behind.
Oh, okay.
And yes, we give them that assurance.
Oh, so that's only the fair, all right. So it seems that the elite are more the people that are already going on this, so it might not really affect them. But then, what are the measures being taken by NACON to safeguard the people and make sure, you know, they get quality, safety, and you know, all the services when it comes to Hajj, even with the cost constraint that is, you know, currently affecting the nation?
Okay. During this year's pre-Hajj inspection, we had a lot of engagements with service providers over there in Saudi Arabia. Apart from the assurances they made, actually the team, our chairman himself led the team to see what other facilities are on ground. Apart from the verbal assurances. Now, we have been assured that this year there will be a team comprising of NACON staff and the service providers there who will be overseeing everything hand in hand, and it will even be computerized such that any hitches that are being noticed will be sent to the powerhouse immediately, so that it will be rectified. At the back end, they will have their people there monitoring everything from food delivery in Mashair, food delivery into the NACON is the Medina feeding is what NACON handles directly.
Okay.
The Makkah feeding is being handled by State Pilgrims Welfare Board, but even then we have our staff supervising. So all these arrangements with our service providers will be monitored by the two teams, their own team and our own team, so that everything will go on smoothly. And apart from that, there were negotiations on buildings. They were inspected. Yes, they were up to standard. And we were about finalizing the deals when suddenly the equation changed. That's the fair.
A really sad equation. Yeah. So, even though right now it's looking like the federal government, the CBN are doing everything to make sure that the value of Naira, you know, appreciates, there is still another side of Nigerians that are a bit skeptical about what if it remains the same? What if it's, you know, goes higher and all of that? So what is the NACON long-term plan if at all these situations like this happen?
For like 2 years ago, or 2 to 3 years ago, we introduced the Hajj savings scheme. Through the Hajj savings scheme, a pilgrim can start paying little by little until the time that his money matures to perform the Hajj. And the good thing about the Hajj savings scheme is, as you are saving, you are actually investing. You're depositing your money in Jaiz Bank. Jaiz Bank will be investing in halal businesses, and you'll be getting the returns as well. And with time, we hope that as more pilgrims participate in the Hajj savings scheme, the returns will be higher, such that a time will come, inshallah, that whatever the amount, this profits will be used to subsidize the Hajj, which means it will remain stable. Whatever, as long as you are required to maybe deposit as much as 2 million, whatever increases is not your business. It will be supplemented through the profit made there. And apart from that, there's these other plans that we have been we've been driving at. That's long-term arrangements instead of the yearly arrangement. When you make a deposit for like the hotels, like for 2-3 years, actually the cost remains the same, because over there, no matter how things change, as long as you enter that agreement for like 3 years, it remains the same. So it will not be fluctuating every year. if we can have that with the airlines, with the service providers over there in Saudi Arabia, it will help manage the fare. And you know, NACON has been trying to be independent for quite some time. There are some certain areas that we are trying to look at, like sources of revenue generation, which all will boil down to helping the pilgrims and then the staff as well, so that we don't remain dependent on government at all. Yeah.
Okay, that seems a bit hopeful for an average Nigerian who, even though we know it's not compulsory, but they can at least plan to say, I'm hopeful that someday I would get to be able to go there. But then in case of people who have, you know, invested their money just for future plans and all that, and for people that right now they'll say, okay, fine, I've given up, I'm not going. Is there any refund ways, you know, for someone to say, I'm able to get my money back from NACON?
Yes. In the statement you just read, it was indicated there that those who want a refund for their money should apply through the states where they paid their Hajj fare to. So NACON will ensure that the process is fast-tracked so that they will be paid. Yeah.
All right, so what message will you give Nigerian Muslims who have been who are disappointed with this new development?
Well, you see, it's a phase. We are all going through it, whether on the Hajj or in our markets, everywhere. Things are not the same. Things are changing. But yes, it's a phase. We hope that one day, by the time the policy, the outcome of, we start seeing the outcome of the policy and everything stabilizes, we hope that this will be a thing of the past and we'll be able to enjoy what our government foresees from the benefit from these policies. Well, we may be feeling it now because it's new. It needs us to adjust. And with this Hajj saving scheme, I think now coming back to where it concerns me the most, that's Hajj matters. When, if we should take advantage of this Hajj saving scheme, I don't think in about 5 years' time we'll be complaining about Hajj fare that much. Because, yeah, with more subscribers, the more the profit. Let me give you an example. We have an allocation of 95,000 pilgrims every year. Malaysia has 30,000 pilgrims. But from those 30,000, because they are running a scheme, that's the Tapong Hajj, which is similar to our own Hajj saving scheme. From the proceeds they make from this 30,000 pilgrims, they're able to subsidize Hajj for their pilgrims and even loan out from the profit and even pay zakat from the profit because they have excess. That's for about 30,000 pilgrims. Now picture if you have 95,000 pilgrims under the same platform and their monies are being invested in so many other ways. I think it will be a game changer, not just to the Hajj industry, but even to Nigeria as a whole.
Indeed. It looks promising. Well, we hope, you know, at the end of the day, people that are disappointed with all of this will get opportunity to also go, and you know, NACON will be able to bring out this scheme that would make it work for every Nigerian. Thank you so much, Hajiya Fatima Usara, for joining us to dissect this, you know, increase in Hajj fare. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Of course.